up, everybody? This is TEKNOBLAST on Technos Gaming. I'm looking at something right now that's related to PlayStation. It's cracking me up, and I'll show it in a second.
Everything related to PlayStation nowadays will have you cracking up. I don't know.
we got SIKSLAYER and the Realist. How's it going, guys?
What it do? Everything is good.
What it do, man? I haven't heard that in a long time.
What it do, baby?
What it do, baby?
What it do, baby?
Oh man! So we've been talking about desks. Sick is you're gonna order one, right? Or you gonna?
Yes,
you already did.
No,
I planning to. So he's gonna have a new setup, like and he's gonna have to post some pictures about it later on.
Yeah, I'll have to have crazy RGB. That's all obnoxious, Make it.
Are you gonna have all that?
No, I'm being sarcastic, but I might do a video, but I'm not gonna do the.
I'm so tempted to get RGB, but I'm like, RGB. I'm not that guy though.
I'm not either. It doesn't.
But I do like lights though.
Yeah, I respect it. It's not for me. I see it. I instantly think I don't want that, but that's cool. But not for me.
Like I look at people saying like, man, that looks so cool, and then they show the setup like, hey, this is how I got it like this. It looks like too much work.
Yeah. Well,
it looks cool because you don't have one.
Okay, but that's the thing. I do have one. Here's the thing. See, I bought the Corsair screen thingy, with my heat pump on my CPU. So it has like display. You can put whatever you want on a little OLED screen, right? And the case, it came with two fans that are RGB. Corsair once again case, as well as my power supply. By the way, that's all coincidence. But anyway, it all works together with the whole RGB. Except even now, the RGB is set to the least obnoxious thing I could find, and that's not a solid color. That's how it goes with these RGB things, man. It has to be obnoxious at the bare minimum.
Yeah. The only thing I have RGB on me is my little server that I have over there, and that's only because I had to get a fan, and the store didn't have any other fan except for a red one. So that. And
there's no way to kill the color witut killing the power to the fan.
Well, yeah, I was looking at the wire. I was like, how can I kill the light? And I was like,
you can't snip anything. Yeah.
So I was like, screw it. And so my son sees like, oh, when he first saw it, it's like, oh, that's so cool. You got the red light on it, Daddy. You got the red light. It's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's just on the side panel. It's like it needs to suck out the hot air. It'll be fine. So, but other than that, man, like I want to put some on my desk, but I have so many wires already. It's like I don't need more crap.
Yeah, in fact, that's what we're talking about behind the scenes, organizing. Man, if you saw the rat's nest I got under this table here, man, that can cause a fire. I'm sure people tell me all the time, but I vacuum it all the time, so there's nothing to catch. But there's a lot of wires and stuff, man. It's scary looking. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
So this little area that you see me in right now, this is where I usually do this. So from 8 to 5 or 8 to 4, I'm here all day, right? At first, it wasn't bother because like, okay, I got my stuff. I had another personal computer kind of like over here on the left side. And then my two main ones were for my work. It's like, all right, if I need to switch over, I got a keyboard switch here. I can switch over to my personal laptop. And then it's like, it started weighing on me because it's like, I work all day. And then when I get with you guys, it's like, I'm still here at my desk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I took all my work stuff out and I put it into another room, and I got a small little desk, a single monitor, and I'm working out of that right now just to have a different scenery. That way, when I sit here like I am today with you guys, I'm happy because I haven't seen my desk all day,
Yeah, me too, because I don't work with I work with computers at work a little bit because I have to work with the transcoder for the cable system that we have going, right? So that's the only computer related thing I have to do at work. So
I don't know that.
And that's my Alexa.
Who was that? Is that your girl?
My Alexa.
That's your girl.
Anyway,
what's up, KTJ?
So as much as a computer person I am, in fact, my PC is running, I'm on the web. It's also my DVR. It's recording something right now, doing all this stuff in the background, right? So as much of a computer person as I am that does that, I'm not a computer 24/7 when I come home. And I'm like, I see it. So I understand what you're talking about. But to be there all day, a lot of people say, even though they're enthusiasts, that they work with a computer all day at work, they don't want to come home to it. It takes a special breed, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, I sacrifice having 2 monitors for work, which are my personal ones anyways, to a single monitor in another bedroom with a small desk. And then that is it, because it's like, I need a different scenery. I want to be happy when I'm back here, and be like, oh, I've been at this desk for 12 hours. I want that feeling. Right. And so when I do want a game, which sometimes I game here, because I got my Halo Series X connected to this 4K 120, hertz screen. Sometimes I just want to sit here. I'd rather just sit over there on the couch and play on the big screen.
Facts. I'm team comfy couch, man. I'm not team command center.
Yeah.
Like I grew up team command center, and this is a little bit of
team command center.
I'm explaining the difference. Like what you're sitting at right now, that's a command center. Like you have everything there. Even your consoles might even be there for a lot of people. Right?
Oh, I got the One X underneath the desk, and
that's the command center lifestyle. Like you play your PC, consoles, whatever, in a setup like that. That's team command center. Then there's team comfy couch, where you got the big screen with the couch, the living room type of setup, right?
It's a chill section.
And there's those are 2 distinct groups, right? There's no crossover in that. Either you do one or the other or both, but those are 2 paradigms that work separately, right? There's some crossover and implementation and stuff, obviously, but otherwise, it's the way you sit in comfort that's the difference, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is a lot about the discussion, that I have with a lot of people about. A lot of people just dug me as a PC guy, and the reason I bring this up is that me and Rimas were having a little bit of this discussion. And for me, one of the things that that makes me different from what most people seem to think about me. Not this is about me, but I just want to clarify how this affects how people live and work, right? This discussion we're having, right? So for me, I've always been team comfy couch. Even with my PC, I plugged my PC into a TV, and I used to set everything up, especially with Media Center back in the day, such that I turn my PC on.
Media Center.
It boots into Media Center if I'm watching, TV or whatever, or a movie or whatever. I do it through that, and then I would have the thing to go into Steam Big Picture mode to play PC games. I kept it very console as possible in terms of my use and the way it was set up. It's a PC, and I do PC stuff on it, but that's all in the background. Usually the interface you see is like a set-top box style interface, and for many years that was my life's work to get that to be a reality, because it took a lot of implementations of hardware and software. Now it's easy to a point where you have an Android TV box that'll do 99% of that stuff in a little cheap box anyway, right? But that was but back then you had to build your own setup, right? So now we have these consoles and everything. I was talking about before with the netcam, you could broadcast to Twitch as you play a game. You could plug in a netcam into your Xbox that has the shot of you, and then all that is going to Twitch, and the Xbox is handling the whole thing with no PC involved. People don't know you could do that, and that's been there for a long years.
Yeah, it's been there for a good while. Well, ever since they took away the Connect capability,
right?
For this generation.
They took it away last generation with the Series X, One X.
One X.
That's right. That's right. And that's when they added the netcam thing to replace it. Yeah. So that's when they added that whole.
I've used it. I've used it a couple of times, but I just prefer to do it on a computer because I'm so used to do it that way.
Right.
But for someone who doesn't have a setup,
have a computer, right? Who doesn't do stuff like that, right? Yeah. This is why we're talking about Daka Vodka and Flip Money. Shout out to them and whoever else was involved, because I think it was the third.
Yeah,
I guarantee this should be in the Guinness Book of World Records, because they use this platform right here that we're using on the Xbox's Edge browser. I think when it was still in alpha, right?
Yeah.
They tried it and broadcast it to YouTube and did a whole podcast on the Xbox alone. And I think it was a Series S. It wasn't even a Series X they did it on, I think.
Well, all I remember is that Vodka said you need to do one for your console. You can do it. Now, he didn't tell me he did it.
Yeah.
He just said, hey, you can do it.
I remember they did this. So, yeah, they definitely did. It was.
I remember them doing it. I don't remember what console in particular, though.
Right, but it was definitely an Xbox. I don't know if it was Series S or X, but I think it was S.
I wonder if PlayStation can do it.
The PS4 probably could, and not the PS5. It has a browser. Remember the main thing, and I think Pornhub certified it again, like very recently. The number one browser is the PS4 browser. Like if the PS5 had the browser, so if it weren't PS4,
you guys are naughty. You guys are naughty boys.
Bro,
I'm no angel, but
no angel either. But it's just like, like PlayStation folks know how to use their PlayStation and do everything in their life.
Hey,
right?
yeah, you got to give them that.
That is a knock, right? Like I literally mean that, and that's just about, and that's really what we're talking about. Like,
yeah.
A lot of people don't use computers for stuff. They use iPads and their phones and whatnot, and they don't use a computer at all to do
VR headset,
computing stuff, right? VR headset that's standalone, and so yeah, that's Team Comfy Couch. That's not Team Command Center. There's no PC involved in that.
Yeah, you gotta give the PlayStation fans they know how
the music is muffling you out. You gotta adjust the balance stuff. Yeah, the music is muffling your voice a little bit.
Oh, is it? Let me turn it.
Oh, down. Okay, there you are.
That's not when you talk. No.
Yeah, it sounds better now. Okay. Yeah, so realist, man. I know you drive around. You're a driver, but when you're home, what's your setup like?
That's what he's doing.
I know. In fact, right now you're driving, but what's your setup like at home? Like, what do you do?
You guys are going through all that stuff. That's why I didn't have anything to say. I buy things that I have the setup for my wives to go, like my entertainment. Like I guess because I got the Xbox, my consoles are hanging on the wall, right? And it has like a little router on the back for all my wires to flow through. Like so that's how. And with the PC, like it's in a cabinet type thing, and it has a route for everything on that. Like it came that way. It's made for that. Like so I don't have to freestyle with it. But I understand what you guys are talking about. But that's what drove me to buy the setup that I do have. It's a desk. But if you want to say there's a team, I'm Team Comfy Couch. Because there's an HDMI connected to my computer to my TV from the computer. Right. So I guess I would be considered Team Comfy Couch with that.
My dad a few years ago he purchased me a gaming chair. Nothing fancy. It's just a pedestal kind of chair, and it looks like a kind of goofy J looking chair. And it has built-in speakers. Right? Which I was like, oh, cool. So I tried it. They sound really good. Well, the problem was that I've used it so much that the padding on the butt is gone. So now I feel all the bracelet or the frame. I can feel the frame now. Or to the point that it cuts off circulation from my legs.
Bro, get some padding replaced or put a pillow on there or something.
I'll put a pillow. There are times I put
a purple pillow on mine.
I'll put a pillow on my butt, or I'll also add a footrest. I have this spare footrest that I have from an old chair that I tossed out.
Oh,
so I'll use that. I'm leaning back with my feet up, right?
Or a small beanie bag, like that beanie bag material in a cushion shape. Put that there.
What's up, 100?
What up, 100?
But yeah, that chair, we still got it. We still use it, but I don't sit in it for hours. If it's a 30-minute session, then I'll do that. But no.
Yeah, but you have both. Oh, you have both teams in the same room. You could switch between, basically.
Yeah, I got a couch. There's a couch right behind me, right here.
Right.
Yeah.
But I bet you your PC is piped into that TV as well.
Well, see that red light in the corner, there?
Yeah.
That's the computer I'm talking about. That's connected to the TV.
Oh, see? Okay.
And that stores my movies, teams. My shows, my pictures.
Oh, okay. So you split all that up into two machines. I only have the one, but that's basically what I want to do. I want to have a server machine that does all that stuff, and then I can have the game machine.
No. Yeah. I separate everything. I don't do one box everything. Yeah. Just because, not redundancy, but if one fails, then I still got everything else.
Cool. But yeah, everybody has the way they set theirs up, for their lifestyle. But generally, I feel it's the way you like to sit in comfort is the real differentiator, because everything else is custom to that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How they have it hooked up and whatnot. You can't really put that into any kind of box.
Yep. So, yeah, looking forward for you to send those start getting your setup going, because they're fun to look at. People's different setups. Everybody's different.
It's about that on many forums where that's all people do is post their setups and stuff. You get ideas from that and stuff. But yeah.
So all right. Well, we wasted a good 15 minutes, like I said, of anything goes. And we're gonna switch over a little bit to PS5, and not yet into the news, but this is something I've been going back and forth with Realist the last couple of days, because I've been. That's my first PlayStation 5 game. I've been playing Returnal. Now, I forgot that Returnal was a roguelike game. I forgot that if you die, you start right all over from the very beginning, and you got to do the run again. Right?
It's a roguelike.
I get completely turned off from those type of games. I didn't play Hades. I played it, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this repeat crap.
Right.
I played Dead Cells, same thing. I just couldn't do it. And I think there's a third one out there that was the same way. And I couldn't stick with it. It's just not my type of game.
Right.
Now this one, there's two reasons why I'm sticking with it. One, it's my first PlayStation 5 game. Okay. Second, I like the space environment that it has. And I do like it. And the enemies are not like bombarding you constantly. If you clear out a room,
not yet.
He's like, not yet. At least in the first biome. In the first biome, you get in a room and you get attacked, and then when you clear it out, it's done. And then you can explore the room and move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. Some of the things that you gather are not permanent, which I'm like, okay. Some things are permanent, which is like, okay, it makes the game better, So I don't hate it yet. So far so good. I'm digging it. That's cool. I hope I don't get to the point where I'm just gonna be so frustrated with it because I don't get to proceed the biomes because you can't defeat the boss, or the health thing is just a big issue. That's like, okay, I give up. I'm not gonna do anything with this. So I'm not there yet.
Here's the thing with roguelikes, right? Because this is the reason why for the frustration, but that's the key element of it as well. So either you get it and it's for you, or it's not, right? And I don't know which one I am, but I know how it works. And it works like this. See, most games, you progress, you get items and upgrades and stuff. And now if you go back to the first level with the equipment you have, you're molly-whopping everything, right? But have you ever played a game and for some reason you had to start all over because you have to reset your save? Even that first level, you're still molly-whopping.
Because you already know what's coming up.
Because you know what's coming up. You're experienced at the game now, right?
Yeah.
And that's the mechanic they try to leverage with roguelikes. That you, the gamer, yourself got to upgrade. You got to be better at the game. Basically, you got to get good, right?
Get good.
And yet they give you some stuff. And see, because I heard in your own words, then that's what made me think to say this. Like, when you get permanent unlocks, that was what made the game better for you in your mind, right? Because you feel like you're progressing. Now you have something you keep. It proves you did something.
Yeah, some
like all that
like
time
there's a weapon. There's a weapon you permanently keep when you die. And when I started over again, I flew through that course like fast. Right.
See, it makes you feel like you have something for all the work you put in. When you play over and over and over and die and you don't get some kind of unlock, you feel like all that time is wasted.
So when I get to the boss, like, all right, I know what this punk ass is gonna do.
Right.
And this latest boss, the first boss that I battled with, man, he was halfway on this last phase, and he got me. But like, all right, I'll continue on.
Right.
I'll continue on and see what happens. I'll build up my character. There's certain things you can build up on your character. It stays with you.
Okay. So you're just gonna leverage that stuff. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you want to feel like the time you spent is worth your time, and for a lot of people, they just don't get that. But it's also subliminal for them. They don't realize that's the issue. So for those of you who have issue with roguelikes, just look at it from that lens and try again. I'm not saying it's gonna change your mind. I'm not trying to. but at least observe it from that point of view and see if it works for you or not. Because if it doesn't work for you at that point, it's definitely not for you. Because like I'm 50-50 with it.
Now
I'm in that same position as most of y'all who don't like it either.
The only question I haven't had answered yet, and maybe Eli knows, is that if I defeat a boss and I progress to the new biome, and if I die in that new biome, do I go back all the way?
I don't think you do. I don't think
to the first.
No,
that's
the way it was. But like now, I mean, you have a little like spot.
Like that. Wow.
Like you said you made it to the house. Like once you
house,
yeah, but once you die, you don't have to go all the way back to the ship.
No, I did a couple of times already.
Maybe to see the little shadow thing. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of those types of games either. So like this is like Hades was the first one that like, all right, let me get into it, let me try it, because
people were saying it's good.
Well, I mean, I didn't even know that like there was such a genre for this, right?
Yeah.
Like coming up, we played Mega Man and Ninja Gaiden, and you die, you start over, right? You die, your lives end, and you have to start from the beginning. There's no like halfway state. So like now I'm learning that this is a specific genre, and I can't say that I love it or hate it, but this game, so far, I mean, it's interesting. The atmosphere, it's the space setting,
and that's what's grabbing me right now is because of that.
Right,
the atmosphere, the mystery of it, what's going on,
and that's the thing that sold people. Everyone didn't even know what kind of game it was until towards the end when we saw some footage, but we didn't even know it was a roguelike though. We knew about all the jump around, the shooting. They made it look like a platinum they made it look like a platinum action game.
Yeah.
Right. That's the way they sold it, right? They sold it that way, and then when they went to go get their refunds, they found out they were stuck with it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Guys like Lucas. You know what I mean? Because they didn't say new roguelike shooter from House Marquee. You know, so there it is. Nobody, a lot of guys about there didn't know.
What up, Jay?
So Jay says the Ascent was my first roguelike or rough light game. It was challenging, but it was a fun game. Was it a roguelike?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Really?
But it did have elements of where you would die and would have to start.
Yes.
The level over.
You have to start.
But it was the lack of checkpoints, I think, that really made it feel that ish. But it wasn't roguelike. No.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say for these games, I just feel like they don't respect my time. So I don't seriously. I mean, like if you have 40 hours to burn on trying over and over on a game that's really like, if you're good enough, you can finish in like 6 or 7 hours, and people's playtime turns into 40 because they have to do the same thing over and over again. Like that's not a respecter of my time. And
that's old school Nintendo hard, like angry video game nerds.
Like if it was old school Nintendo and I was living in my mama's house and no bills, no job to go to, then I'll sit up and play that one game over and over again until I got it right. But I got too many options for it. But so far it's fun, and the moment that it ceases to not be fun anymore, I'm done.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Like the time you spend in the game, you want to feel like you earn something for your time, and these roguelikes don't give you that until you've mastered the gameplay to a point where they decide to give you something.
Well, Eli says it's co-op, so we haven't tried that yet. But it is
co-op.
But I don't have Plus either, so I can't play online.
Oh, you don't have Plus? Well, the thing is, man, you kind of seem like I was bothering you while you were experiencing greatness, so I just left you to it. But like co-op does have like some drawbacks. Like I didn't care to read too much into it, but I know like you don't get all of the XP that you would get if you were to go solo. That I do know, but how it breaks down, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll have to sign up for a month or so one day when they give me a free month, if that offer ever comes. Thanks, PlayStation. Oh, it's the wrong camera. Thanks, PlayStation.
Yeah, cause see, like now, it's like can you still go buy Plus? Did they go back to letting people resell Plus for them? Can you get Plus?
I haven't.
I don't think so.
Bro, like I said, man, I've spent like $45 for 3 years, like back when at launch. So that was how I got mine. But it's what it is.
I used to get it yearly, and then it got to a point where I didn't even play online. I didn't care for the games that they handed out every month. So I just let it cancel, and then I've been off it since. So
I don't play online over there, but I mean, since like you are on there, I'll play with you.
You're my friend.
Yeah, see, like my little nephew and my brother-in-law, they play the show, but
Yeah.
you know, I could play with them on my Xbox.
Yep.
The main reason I got that thing is for all the free, quote unquote, bangers that came out last generation. God of War, Days Gone, Last of Us, remastered. I think Horizon, Persona 5, a bunch of them.
You know what I think when people say banger. I don't respect them. I don't debate with them. So,
bro, I feel the same way.
It's a mindset.
It's certain words that just terminate the conversation for me.
Yep.
Eli, Sick might not know this, but somebody came in one of my videos, and what was it? Was it because of that controller? I think it was because of the controller.
It was the one where you said, I think you said you had a free it's something about I think the one about the free PlayStation or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they were complaining about you saying something about your battery life, and they went to give me tips and tricks and stuff. Like, nobody else has these problems, bro. You cannot talk about their beloved PlayStation. I'll tell you that.
Nope.
Yeah. At least they were trying to be helpful, except for that one guy who kept.
Oh no, they were sassy.
They were a little sassy, except for that one guy who was just a total tool, where he came in and started listing all the first-party games, everything, even from last generation.
They really think this is going to influence anyone, too. They're nuts.
Vodka's like, PSN is drawing in tech and real. We're the only we only friend each other. We're the only friends we have of each other.
I got like 5 friends, bro.
Well, it's still being paid for or whatever, or at least I have a couple months left. But my PlayStation's been unplugged all year.
It's like it's some dungeon collecting dust.
No, it's over here somewhere. Yeah, there it
collecting
goes.
Dust.
No, it's under a bunch of wires.
It's under the rat nest.
Yep.
All right. So let's get this moving on into the real meat of today, which I don't know how long this is going to take, but I think it'll be fun to talk about. And Xbox Game Pass has no rival. Game Pass has captured 60-70% of the global subscription market. Who said it? Sony. They're running for their lives, boys.
Of course.
And there's nothing they can do about it. They know how much of a big deal. First, they said it's not a big deal with Call of Duty, but it's a big deal. It is a huge deal. It's a name brand that everybody knows. Yep. You can ask anybody, even people who are not gamers, hey, you ever heard of Call of Duty? They're like, yeah.
Call of Duty.
Everybody knows it. Yep. Not everybody likes it, but they've heard of it.
If they don't play it, the kid wants it.
I stopped being a fan long ago because I'm more of a Battlefield guy. Yeah, but I know, me too. I know what Call of Duty brings. I know what's what. Vodka, you threw me off. Dang it! Lost my train of thought. But but we know what Call of Duty brings. The importance of it. It's not going away. Whether it's a crappy release this year or a crappy release next year. It's going to continue on until they say it's no longer coming out, and I don't see that, ending anytime soon.
Yeah.
So, Big Jim is complaining that this may pull some PlayStation people or it's going to influence people from PlayStation or people who are not aware that's on both platforms to select Xbox more.
You don't say. Kind of like what they've been doing these past few years.
Exactly.
You mean like Destiny, which is the most recent one where they got the marketing rights?
Destiny, the whole life of PlayStation has been like this.
So anything they have marketing rights for, they're going to put it out there like they're the only ones who have it. Yes. And so now they're afraid that what they've been doing is going to be turned on them.
That's exactly the talking point I have on this whole situation.
Go ahead,
That's exactly what's going on. Like, everybody is talking about the obvious, and there's a lot of discussed on that, right? Like, that's why you're saying, this part of the conversation you expect will take a long time, because it's all of that stuff, right? But I also want to look at it from the other direction. And this is exactly what Realist was talking about just there, is exactly that. Like, the reason that they're afraid of all these specific things is because that's the exact stuff they've been weaponizing against Xbox for 20 years.
Yep.
That's their playbook. They know the impact because that's the weapons they use. They know what their guns do, obviously. And now they know it's about to be turned on them.
Yeah. Put Call of Duty, and let's say all the Call of Duties into Game Pass. And somebody who's on a budget, where are they going to go? You know? A lot of people will say, well, they go where their friends go. And I get that. I get it. But at the same time, look, if it's between my friends and my money, I'm going to talk with my money first, you know?
Right.
It's
like, usually the friends are all choosing one or the other, or at least the majority, for specific reasons, right? It's specific reasons that these console makers, you know, have to attract us with. And that's up to them, not us.
Yeah. Yeah. So headline is Sony sounds shook. Oh man, this really upset a lot of people. By Xbox's Activision buyout.
What are they mad for?
But hold on. But why now? Because it's not like the announcement just came out the other day. Why is it just now that we get people or articles like this where it says Sony is shook or Sony is scared or Sony something?
Well, because Xbox. Sony finally said it like clearly. All right, this is Brazil. Brazil is very open during their process. But we have always known, right? Whoever controls Call of Duty controls the board. That's all it is to it. When Microsoft had Call of Duty in 360, they controlled the board. PlayStation has it. Now they've been controlling the board. I don't think Call of Duty alone is enough, right? Microsoft's going to have to utilize the whole of Activision. Because if I'm just a Call of Duty player, I'm not going to subscribe to Game Pass for a whole year just to play one game. Right? They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to throw the maps in. They're going to have to do something, knowing that people will primarily only play one game. But we know that Sony was shook. We've always known, like, it's their number one game. That's why the day after the acquisition was announced, we expect Microsoft to honor the current existing contracts, right? And then Phil came out and said, we spoke to them about our desire. And so since Sony is crying right now, right? Sony's out there crying. And Microsoft said they spoke about their desires, right? They said we're going to keep a multiplayer, but they never said for how long. I'm starting to think that Microsoft let them know something more than what they're putting on us, because otherwise, if all I'm worried about is us being able to play the game, our players being able to play the game, buy the microtransactions, whatever. $70 is a great price of games. The market is ready. You were part of the spearhead of this. So you shouldn't be worried about your consumers being afraid of $70. Yeah. So there must be something more to it than meets the eye. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised if they would only have access to Warzone. Because if they only had access to Warzone, then that's still Microsoft keeping their word. But that's something that Sony might not be ready to accept. Yeah. But otherwise, what are they complaining about? They said they're going to keep it multiplayer. That's what they said to us. That's what the guy went on, I think, NBC said too. So what are they complaining about? I think it's more to it.
I don't think they're expressly complaining. It's just that
you don't think they're expressly complaining when they talk about how the game is and how they can't do anything about it, how no matter how much effort and energy and finance they put behind it, they can't have an answer? They don't have an answer?
Well, let me speak my piece and I'll tell you why. I'm saying it's just like I said, they know what the impact will be because that's what they've been doing to Microsoft the whole time. They know the game and how it's played, right? What's going on is, the reason this is out is because, like you said, Brazil is very open about their process. And their process involves them, all these companies.
Okay. Let me stop you right here. How does Brazil come into play?
Because that's what
it's just not America's Federal Trade Commission. It's around the world.
Right. It's the Brazilian
and it's their turn, right?
Right.
And then there've also been European excerpts put out. Go ahead, Sick. I'm sorry.
Right. So there's due process around the world, and that's what's happening, and it's coming out via this. It's not like a public statement that Sony put out there. So it's just like when Sega and Nintendo were in front of Congress about video game violence in the 90s, right? Nintendo threw Sega under the bus. If you've seen the movie Console Wars, you'll know what I'm talking about. They threw them under the bus the whole time. They were doing exactly that the whole time to Sega. So they knew what the impact was, right? They threw Sega to Congress to, to take all the brunt for video game violence, right? And then after it was all said and done, Nintendo went back, and now Mortal Kombat 2 and everything else had all the violence and all the blood and all these other examples, right? It's the same thing that's happening with this. They're snitching on Microsoft to a group that might listen to them in the hopes that it will do something, but not realizing it would get out in this way because they thought it was supposed to be all private, because in the US it's not like that apparently, right? But there's been leaks and other things across the world in other places where it's not supposed to be like that either. So hey, this is out there now, and now we know the whole, because it was just like when I said about Sony, they were paying for exclusivity and we never had written proof, and then like last year we got the written proof now, right? And my reaction was, this just proves what I already knew. And it's the same thing with this. It's the same thing. We've known this the whole time. Now we have written proof. That's all.
Yeah, because see, the thing is they went out of their way to say that they can't compete, right? There's nothing that they can do that can put them that to create an IP on the level of Call of Duty, which is true, right?
Right.
I mean, Call of Duty's been around for years. Right. But the thing is, you don't go out and buy Bungie. You don't go out and contract deviation if you think that there's no way for you to compete, right? And I'm so glad that the excerpt came out where Microsoft responded with, they own a movie studio, they have Spider-Man, but they also have the gaming rights for exclusivity. And they mentioned Final Fantasy.
Yep.
And how they exploit that for exclusivity.
Yep. That just goes to show, it's like when you're a kid or whatever, and maybe it was you or maybe it was a sibling. It was always my sibling. I wasn't like that, but you know how it goes. Like one sibling, like you're both in trouble. The one sibling is throwing you under the bus by saying all the stuff that you did that they're part and parcel with themselves, right? And so they'll snitch on every aspect that you did together, even if they're involved in it. So they're snitching on themselves in the hopes that it will take you down more than it does them, right? So it's like they're crying to Big Brother, but look at all this stuff they're doing. Meanwhile, Microsoft's like, but you guys have like a movie company, movie studio, and exclusivity rights, and this is what you've been doing to us the whole time. Here's the example with Final Fantasy. You're doing that to us right now. What are you guys talking about? So that's the back and forth.
What that does is flip the bully table right back on Sony. See, they are a conglomerate as well, right? They have more than one stream. They're dominating in movies, and they're moving that over into games. Why should you stop us from using our software revenue into helping us dominate in this space, or at least carve out our own section? Because right now we are not competitive with Sony dollars for dollars.
Yep. It just goes
that's all they can do, bro.
Right.
They have to, because they have to play to that, right? Because Microsoft has always been known as the bully. So, but Microsoft makes them look bigger than they want to appear to the court as well, right? When they say they are dominating movies, they're bringing that same successful movies over here into the gaming space. And not only that, but they're hurting us in other regions by not allowing games to hit our platform from third parties, in quotation mark. Third parties. They're paying for exclusivity. They're basically paying to keep content off our platform, thus stunning our growth in regions that we're looking to grow. So look, Sony is going to have to get out on the lay down. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years they give up. Because see, this is the thing. You already said your service does not add up. Your service is not sustainable. You said that, right? They said it before they started it, and then now they further confirm it. Why not just go ahead and throw all of your classics in there, and put Game Pass on your platform as well? Nintendo doesn't need to, but if something happens, Nintendo always has an up year. I mean, an up generation, down generation, and if this is the down generation, throw Game Pass on there too. because they're already making both of them put Xbox Live accounts to play games like Minecraft and things like that.
Yeah.
So
here's what Jay
it's
had
not
to
too
say about that
far-fetched.
Final Fantasy, right? And now they don't like it. But yet games like Final Fantasy will still be exclusive to PlayStation for like 3 years, which is right. Because I was waiting for, what was it, 7 Remake to come out on Xbox for when they said it was supposed to come out, like a year or 2 years later, and it never did. And then I eventually bought it for the PlayStation 4 and played it, had a great time with it, and moved on. But
I had it on PlayStation Plus. They gave it away, so I just did that. But it didn't give me access to the PS5 version. No, I gotta pay the full $70. It wasn't even the upgrade. Wouldn't even have worked with that. But anyway, back to topic. It just goes to show with Sony, right? Like, we knew this all the time. This is the ultimate smoking gun, right? Everything we've said and believed about Sony, like with the other example I gave about, last week we finally got the proof that they pay for exclusivities and all the stuff from that other leak, from that hack or whatever it was. I believe it was a hack, right? And all this info leaked out about, they pay for exclusivity. So now we had a smoking gun on that. Now we know for a fact that this is what they do and how they do it and why they do. Not that we didn't already know, but now we have the written proof. And now they're crying about it on paper to regulatory outfits around the world, who have to approve this stuff in their countries, for it to be allowed in their country. Because it could be approved in America, but I know Brazil doesn't allow it, so it won't work out like that in Brazil or whatever. I don't know how they would iron that out, but just goes to show. So now they're openly saying with no cap actually still lots of cap actually, but there is no coming back from that now. Now it's permanently out in the open that it's what they do. We have proof. They know they are doing it, and they're doing it purposefully and willingly. All angles are covered with that now. So now what?
Yeah. It was basically a Dear John letter to the pony community, right? Yep. Check it out. This further drives home the point that Phil made years ago when they took offense that we don't look at PlayStation and Nintendo as our competition, right? Yeah. Because I don't know if y'all paid attention to what Amazon, Apple, I think Google had to say about this acquisition. They are like, whatever. We don't know much about it. We don't know what they do. Whatever. Because you know what? The time is coming when they're gonna start making their power moves, right? And Sony's gonna have to sit over there and do what they do and go buy something small, right? They don't play on this level. They don't play on this playing field. I'm so glad that Xbox and Microsoft are starting to validate me as an Xbox gamer and fan, because so long I said, why would you root with a team that's so small in comparison to the other? The only thing that needs to change is that Microsoft needs to wake up and use the brunt of the force that they have. That's all they need to do. Right? Like I said, I don't know. Y'all should probably go look it up. What Apple had to say, what Amazon had to say, what Google had to say about this. They're like, whatever. While Sony is over there, it's basically we're basically losing the genre. Amazon said, we don't see it that way. So far, we only have 2 games out there, but whatever. See, and you have Sony that has all these quote-unquote bangers that Tech loves to talk about, right? They're dominant in a genre. They dominate a specific genre. No one else even bothers to compete in the movie game genre the way Sony does. I guess Red Dead does, but that was an open world game, and it's even not Square as detailed.
Their close homie Square tried.
Well, they learned from Square. Square set that off, right? Square set it off with Tomb Raider, right? Like there's always with the reboot, they did the movie games, right? Where it's mainly just about pushing your way through a story more than anything else. But Sony trying to make it seem like they're this little ant, which they are. But they've been right. They've been
cheating. Like they shouldn't be able to compete in.
I don't know what other guy is.
Like Xbox finally slapped them back, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah, look, y'all know that little guy, like, man, he looks like he's from the Middle East. He's a little guy. He's always fighting some tall guy, and they laugh at him while they're trying to fight him. Right? He looks like Beetlejuice. He's like the Indian version of Beetlejuice. And he's always fighting somebody that's really
like Little Mac.
I know who Beetlejuice is. Yeah.
And so this is what Microsoft is. They've been letting Sony get away with doing all these things. Even Phil has been politely asking them to stop playing that way. Look, stop. We're not into buying content just to keep them off of our competitor platform. That's not what gaming is about, right? Sony fanboys took that and did what they would with it, right? Mm-hmm. Sony trying to play this little guy game is not going to work because for too long they were allowed to be the bully, and there's all this paperwork, right? There's all this paperwork to back up that they're not as little as they're putting off. And they've also doubled down on time exclusives. You don't get 1 year, you get 2 years.
2 years now.
It's to the point now where we're not even sure when these timed exclusivity deals are the way Sony's playing this game.
Yeah.
So everything that they do to try to make it seem like they're the little people who can do nothing, it's not going to work. Because as we speak, there's a spoken coming out that's going to be on a timed exclusivity deal for 2 years.
Damn.
Right? And that's just because that's what they said. Because before they said that Final Fantasy VII was only for a year.
Yep.
Where is it?
Or is it? Who knows?
Still not here. I don't think it's gonna ever come out.
Sony goes ahead and buys them, right? Mm-hmm. But Microsoft could also make the point that that would cripple other competitors in the Japanese market like themselves, right? Because basically Nintendo runs Japan at this point. So Microsoft will have to prove that they don't need that, right? They already buy their games to keep them off the platform, not allowing them to compete. You got games like Dragon Age with years and years of lineage behind them. I don't know, man. I still have faith in the 221 independent Japanese studios. That's what I'm gonna roll with.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna put my dice with those guys anymore, but I would not bet against them. I'll tell you that much.
But yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see, man. Sony's gonna have to do something because so far they got Deviation making a studio, and I bet that they're gonna buy those guys the same way they bought Haven, right? And then they bought Bungie, but Bungie staying multiplat. So, look, to me, it seems like a backstabby move. If Microsoft told them that we're gonna keep everything status quo outside of you being able to put our property on your box.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Let's go.
Yeah.
See what Jay has to say. Exactly. They're exposing themselves for the punk bitches that they are.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oops. Clicked on the wrong one. And Vodka always has comments. Sony changed the wording for Destiny's Taken King content 2015. That didn't hit Xbox till after Destiny 2 release. I don't know. I didn't play, so.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. It was supposed to be a year, but it was longer than that. It didn't happen until Destiny 2 came out. Then they finally put
I remember now.
Taken King on Xbox.
And this is what bothers me about the Sony fans who like to act like Sony built everything by their own bootstraps.
Organically?
Nothing about them is organic. Even the beginnings of PlayStation, Sony Computer Entertainment wasn't organic. That was, a bunch of other developers that were about to die, and then some that were in transition.
But yeah, they like to put it out. They like to put it out there that Sony is Sony because of what they did. No, if you look at what Sony did, they bought timed deals from games that mattered, right? Like look at what they did with Call of Duty. Look at what they did with Destiny. Destiny had exclusive content. Call of Duty had maps that were exclusive only to PlayStation. People bought their consoles for those games, not the games that Sony makes. Because if they did, they'd sell more. They would be selling more than Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. They would be selling more than FIFA, Madden, and 2K.
Interesting you say that because can you tell me?
So did I do a segue on accident?
Can I? Can you guys tell me what the top 3 most played PlayStation games for the month of July? Oh, no, never mind.
For July, it's probably going to be Elden Ring, Fortnite. What?
Nope. I still got the wrong one. So stupid. Scratch that. You guys keep talking. I messed up on the.
Oops.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, big time.
So look, what are you reading, Tech? What is it that you're reading?
I was reading the most played games, but I got the wrong year though. It was last year.
Oh.
And last year's for July was the top 3 were 2 Call of Duty games. Not even the top 10 were either no exclusive games.
Bro, look, man, it doesn't matter what type of facts or proof or whatever receipts we pull up, right? They're gonna be in denial, right?
Yeah.
Because even though Sony themselves said that they can't compete, PlayStation dudes are going against the grain, right?
Of course.
We already know that is the casual box, man. I don't know how many of you have family members that buy a PlayStation out of habit only to play the same 3 games year after year.
Yeah.
Right? Look, the majority are not buying these consoles. And I'm going to be honest, same for Xbox, but Xbox found a remedy. Xbox's remedy is Game Pass.
Right.
Residual income. None of these games need to sell $20 million for 20 million copies for $60 like PlayStation's games. When you're going to have a $200 million budget, you need these games to sell, which is why a game like The Last of Us 2 is not a success. They didn't make that game to break even. They thought that they put out a product that everybody would enjoy and love and be at all with until they decided to, do what they did with Joel. They got cute. And we're going to see how long the leash is with Naughty Dog and Sony, because Sony's reaching a point now where look at what they have to do with Ben, right? They don't get to make a sequel. Told them to go do Last of Us, like Ghost of Tsushima. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't see a sequel to that for another 5 years, because maybe it just hit 10 million, and knowing Sony, they're probably adding in the $30 director's cut sales. They have to make those sales look good. They have to make it seem to other players that they're missing out. And that's why they're going to keep dropping these remakes, dropping these remasters until they come up with a remedy. They need either place the PC community to avoid what the console community is not doing, or they're going to have to do a service and somehow get the majority or more of their players to subscribe to their highest tier.
But isn't their server like really fragmented though? I mean, I'm not part of it, so I don't know.
Isn't what fragmented?
Yeah. What games are in which service? Because the Yakuza games just came out, right? Aren't they split between the 2?
Yeah.
I don't know which is which.
Xbox got all the games back just on Game Pass most recently.
Right. So
Xbox only has one service though. Xbox only has one service. Like Gold is not a game service like that.
You mean
you see where Sony has Essential, Basic, or whatever, and then whatever the highest is, I think it's called Premium. So each one of those tiers gets different games, and Like a Dragon is at the highest tier that they sell.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Right, there's a whole lot of things, man. Look, yeah. So there it is, man. And so Xbox has one service, and so if the games in the service, Xbox PC is the same as Xbox $9.99, on console.
Yeah.
You either want live or gold or you don't. But how fragmented it is, I don't know, because I know you don't get to play their retro games without being on the highest tier.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think the last thing I read was that, there's like 6 Yakuza games. I may be wrong, but there's 6 Yakuza games or so, and they're split between the 2 tiers. So if you have,
I think it's like 3, right?
Yeah,
like the first 2, the second 2, and then the last 2.
The highest tier, and like the final 3 are in the middle tier. I'm like, why is it broken up like that?
Because they need people to upgrade. Listen, man, they rolled everybody from Plus into this. They need these Plus people to upgrade. But why would they upgrade without day one games? Exactly. These people that are subscribed are PlayStation
because they're quality games that don't need to be in the service.
They're quality games that they bought if they wanted them, though. Yeah. If they wanted those games, they bought them. Right? Like, you can talk all the junk about Game Pass you want to. There are no first-party exclusives. But there are day one games in there. It doesn't matter who made them. They're day one games. I don't care if you can play them on Nintendo, PlayStation, or PC. There are day one games in the service. That's why you subscribe. Why would I subscribe to a service just to play old games? Nintendo might be able to get away with that because their fan base is different. I don't want to call them anything derogatory.
Well, the rules are just like that. It's accepted over there. That's the problem.
I think they don't know any better, man. I just think that they've gotten accustomed to doing things. You know, they'll play. Look, I think for the most part, man, it's real gamers or hardcore gamers like us that want to go back and play these old games. The majority of the Switch community is playing Animal Crossing, Pokemon, or Pokemon and Smash Brothers. They don't care about those old games.
Casuals, but there are a lot of the casuals. Like I listen to different podcasts, and I talk to people, you know, who aren't gamers like that, right? But you know, they're just regular people, you know, construction workers and trash guys and stuff. Trash guys, like literally, right? His job.
You call them trash people, man.
No, he you know. Anyway,
hey man, ain't nothing wrong with truck drivers, man. We got to get paid.
Yeah,
exactly, man. I'm saying I know other people that
now he's
just,
like, yeah,
people floss to money all day. So anyway,
and the guy that we talk junk about is the guy asking the trash man for a quarter.
True. So
he can come get some of this garbage juice with me.
That's right. So anyway, what I was saying was like the discussion I think we were having yesterday or the day before about switches. You know, how many switches are out there and how many you know people switches that people buy, right, and give to other people like kids and whatnot, right? So now there are a lot of people I've spoken to who said they'll get these classic collection of 8 and 16-bit arcade games. They come to Switch, right? And I'm not saying that's saying major individually, but in aggregate, as a lot of people who remember, you know, playing old games and they're finding them on Switch and they don't know about these, you know, 1,001, you know, boxes that are everywhere where they can go and get, and they'll have all their old games where they get out flea market or something. Somehow they'll have missed the word on that, but they'll heard that the Switch is selling these games that they can go and get online for $5, $10, $15, and they'll clean up on that. You know, they'll have some like remake or redone, you know, retro style of game, like that Retromania wrestling game. I know was one, right? That a lot of people bought.
If it ain't pro wrestling, I don't care.
Right, but well, yeah, I agree. But I'm saying it reminded them of, you know, the Tecmo game. Or was it Tecmo? Whatever that company was.
Tecmo,
right?
Tecmo's in their service though.
Technos. I mean, Technos. You know, they did. Oh,
you mean like River City Ransom?
Right. All of those types of games, right? And they did that wrestling game. I think that was Tecmo or Technos. I'm not sure. One of the two. Right? They had a WWF game, but there's Retromania Wrestling is in that ilk, right? It's that same developer, and they made this game. And I know for wrestling fans that was popular, and there's other games of that style that that brought back people who haven't played games in a long time. So I know Switch is mopping up from a lot of little angles like those, right? They had multitude because a lot of people buying Switch because they're so cheap.
Yeah, they don't break the bank at all.
Because they'll buy them for the kids and they'll find themselves playing.
Oh man, those games will break your bank though. Man.
And they will break your bank, and that's what's happening. So Nintendo's mopping up in so many little ways, it's ridiculous. So.
And they don't, their games don't drop at all.
Exactly, and that's the other thing, they don't drop in price.
Well, why would you need to drop the price when you can sell them? See,
exactly.
That's the problem for the rest of the industry. But Nintendo can sell their games, which is what I was gonna say, bro. Like, the reason why I say that people are playing what Nintendo's dropping now is because they're always at the top of sales, right? Mm-hmm. How long is the Mario Kart gonna be at the top of sales? It's still charting. So they're not really buying it for that. It's us hardcore guys who had a Nintendo who remember these games. A lot of people, man, they just want the latest Pokemon. Like I remember what I said, man. This normally we would have a Game Boy and a console. This is the Game Boy console combined. So you have that whole fan base on one platform, which Nintendo should have done a whole lot sooner.
Of course.
But yeah, I don't think they're checking for those old games. That's us. But cat like me, I play it on my phone.
Right. Well, but some folks aren't. They're just not up on that. They don't know that they could do it almost anywhere for free now. So they're still paying for stuff, or looking or expecting that they have to pay.
I'd be interested to know what their subscription numbers are, because I know like they didn't have a whole lot of people on their $29.99 plan.
Yeah.
And only people on Twitter, like nobody that I know upgraded them. I didn't upgrade my plan. I still have my same family plan for like $40 for all the consoles that we have. Like I'm not gonna upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade it for what? You know what I mean? We got computers that you can play that crap on.
I'm over here talking to myself.
Oh, maybe.
You've been muted the whole time. Yeah, we haven't.
I was like, it's like you're talking about the Switch, right? And you just kept talking. I'm like, you're talking about the Switch, right? And I noticed, I'm mute. He can't hear me.
Yeah, we were talking about the Switch. We're still talking about Nintendo.
Yeah, because we're waiting on you to figure out stuff. We forgot. We went into a whole tangent. There you go.
Oh no, he wanted to know what the most played PlayStation games were from us, but he didn't know his darn self. So we went off on this tangent. And I brought up how Nintendo doesn't have an issue selling their games. Y'all said that they don't drop in price, but Microsoft and PlayStation, they have issues. There's a lot of competition on their platform as well. See, they're selling third-party games to compete with their own software, and that's just a lot. I think that there's too many games out there, man. I think that Nintendo, if you just want to sell your software, Nintendo has the right idea. Microsoft has the right idea because they know that people can't play all these games. But if they can get you subscribed into a service, you'll play one game and forget that you were subscribed until it comes back around and you're like, oh man, I haven't looked in this. That's how a lot of people are going to approach Game Pass, because there's no way I'm going to subscribe just to play one game. That's like loser activities. I see people like, I'm going to change my email and get the $1 deal. Like that, like dude, that's more effort than I'm willing to expend.
Right, and you got to restart every time with no
gamer score, no nothing, no friends.
Person who gets a different cell phone number every couple of months, like, because they're so broke all the time where they can't just have a set number. Like,
bro, I have somebody on my friends list doing that. I'll call them out. But yeah, so like I said, Microsoft has the remedy. They know that the days of people lined up around the block for a Halo release are over. Right? They know that's over. They know that like Gears never really was like a huge seller. It's just a great game that we all love as Xbox fans. So the remedy to that is to buy these third parties that people really buy these consoles to play, bring them over there, throw it in the service, and we all get to play whatever we want to. But let me be honest, I probably could beat 3 games in a month. But to me, if you
play a mixture of $40, $50 games, I mean, you're already
one game. If I only played what's that game that As Dusk Falls? If I only played that, Game Pass paid for itself last month.
Yep.
Yeah. But the way Microsoft sees it is if everybody's paying, it doesn't matter what you play, how long you subscribed, because they're able to count on those subscription numbers. And at that point, it starts to get into the billions. And then everybody's getting bonuses at that point. They're laughing all the way to the bank, all of them top down.
Facts.
Yeah. Yep. So true. But yeah, they're scared. They're running. It's just I don't know.
Didn't y'all know that they were scared though?
We've been This is the paperwork receipt. That's all.
Before this week,
bro, they sent the dogs out at first. It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
Right. Even they brought Sean Layden out of retirement to tell everybody how unsustainable it was. How the budget of these games are.
Yeah. What's up? Come out here for a second. Go tell these guys that it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. Like that.
Yeah. Because if you look at it, like it's so unsustainable. It lowers the quality of games. Do we really think that Sony's going to continue to dump these hundreds of millions of dollars into these games if they can't sell enough copies to justify?
That sounds like a new YouTube Shorts idea for me. Sean Layden coming out of retirement to tell them.
Oh, and besides, like, these governments and these authorities that they have to answer to where we're getting all this information from, they're not supposed to care if these businesses do well or not. That's on them. They're just making sure the level, the playing field is, level and fair. That's it. That's their only concern. If you can't compete with your competitor because you're not at their level, then you burn, I guess, or change up your game plan.
Get good or get wrecked.
Yeah, get good or get wrecked. It's the same in gaming, same in business. These companies, get lifelines all the time if they're important. Sony's not that important like that. They're just not. What do they do to the real world where they need Sony? Like if Sony, I'm not trying to talk shit about Sony, but truly, as a company, besides I would say their camera lenses, because many companies use their camera lenses. Yeah, that's the one thing they offer that you can't get elsewhere.
They got good earbuds.
The earbuds all across the landscape now. See, the things they used to be the bosses at, right? Like they used to be the Apple of everything. Now the Apple of nothing except for TVs. That's the one thing they win at, where they're undeniable.
And camera lenses.
Right, and camera lenses. But even with TVs, like to be number one, you have to be in a price bracket, because the number two is 99% as good for thousands of dollars less. And in the specific case, I'm talking about exactly half the price.
Yeah.
Right, like the top Sony TV that wins every year is twice the price as the number two, which is usually an LG. You can get 2 LGs for the price of one Sony of the same size.
Dang.
At the top level. In everything else besides camera lenses, like he said again, right? Like they're not winning in nothing else but maybe components, like the random components and stuff. Sony has a litany of those things, but so do many other companies. But there's many things that Sony makes that probably only Sony makes. So besides stuff like that, like Sony doesn't do anything that anybody really depends on them for. Like if they've, and that's all stuff that's segmented in which they would sell off as a whole, so that whole wouldn't die with Sony, because Sony would need the money at that point. Like if it really got that bad for them. And they're nowhere near that kind of situation. Like I said on the last 2 podcasts, PlayStation is making, well, up until now, has been making more money than ever. This is the first loss. Yeah. The first loss, but it's a really big loss because of
it's across the board.
Right, because of their business plan. It's not compatible with today's market. Everybody else's is, and that's why nobody lost as much as Sony did. Everybody's losing, but Sony lost the most. It just goes to show.
Jay says, as soon Twitter found out about Microsoft buying Activision and Blizzard, Sony came out that same, I guess the Sony fan, came out that same week and threatened Microsoft about not breaking up the contract. They were shook since Jan. They were shook. Yeah, they were really mad.
Mm-hmm.
As they should be.
Yeah.
They got Gogo, hope and saying it right. Gogo Po. Nobody cried for the death of Sega consoles.
Except for
and I won't cry for Sony either when they're making third-party games.
Yep.
It's at that point where they'll actually be able to sell them. See, Microsoft is caught in that same corner where Sony is. Exclusivity really hinders the progression of game sales. So Microsoft has to find out a way to do it without just completely turning everybody into a crap gamer.
Another one from Poe. Thing is, I think Microsoft will not be nice. Spending $70 billion is so large you cannot look weak. It will ruin not just Xbox but the MS brand, and MS will not have a loss after that much has been spent. Man, I'm on the fence. When they spend $70 billion, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. And let's say they keep everything multi-plat. In one way, look, I don't care. I'm still going to play on Xbox. It doesn't, just because it's going to be multi-plat and now that Xbox owns it, doesn't automatically make me like, you know what? I better go to PlayStation because might as well.
Why would you go over there to spend $70?
Right. But either way, even if we didn't have Game Pass, I would still stay on Xbox because that's my preferred platform. Yeah. On the other side of me, the evil side, I'm like, dude, squash them. Take it away, make it exclusive, put it in Game Pass, and curb stomp their face. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft's going to use it as leverage to open things up. I think we're going to start to see less time deals from Sony. I think that they're going to compete with the properties they own and leave third parties out of it and compete head up.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what's going to happen
Because let's be honest, if they do that, that's going to upset what they're doing. And why not just take it off and throw a more Warzone?
I agree, and especially because see, with Call of Duty, the best plan, the best situation for Microsoft is if they let it stay multi-platform. You know, for Call of Duty, it depends on the situation. You know, and for Call of Duty, the best financial sense is to leave it multi-plat because it sells a lot, so you'll make up that money, right? But at the same time, if Microsoft really wants to be cutthroat, they could just lock it to their platforms, Xbox and PC, and leave it like that and take that loss up front because they can afford it.
Yeah,
frankly, right?
Is it a loss? Shit, because like is Call of Duty is not really on PC like that. It's not on Steam. It's not on Steam. You throw it in there. You throw it in there and let Steam take up that slack. But I don't think they want to squash Sony though.
No. But this is what I'm saying. They could do that, but they're not gonna. But in the end, financially, it makes more sense to leave a multi-plat. But they could, if they wanted to be cutthroat, to really put this, to really stick it to Sony, or to be like, yo, and just play it tough and be like, yo, we could do this if we really want. We can't get into some gangster shit, or you can ease up on some of these exclusivities.
Do some Goodfellas stuff, huh?
I'm just saying, they really could. So that's they had that option on the table.
These friends of ours.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is business, and business gets cutthroat, and there's a way to be cutthroat about it, and that is an option.
See this hammer? Kabah! Right on their head.
So Sony could say what they want, and besides, they did have a meeting, because they have one every year. So I don't know what Microsoft is legally allowed to discuss, which I think is nothing at this early point. Actually, they're not allowed to say much of anything, I don't think, yet until it's done.
Want to say anything,
right? But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Hey, Microsoft had to let them know that.
But what are Sony fans crying about? Because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna buy their $70 exclusive that sells millions and millions of copies, up to maybe 9 million, and that call it a day. Because that's their quote unquote bangers.
Yeah, but look at the time, right? It's perfect timing, bro. They can't produce enough consoles. This is the perfect time to let everybody know, right? The tables have turned, and now Microsoft is the one that's going to market Call of Duty. Like, people are going to be looking for new consoles, and they're going to see places like GameStop, right? GameStop has Microsoft in the front of the store now. Put a Call of Duty marquee up there and say Game Pass, right? Yeah. Not that that's going to be the only thing that's going to move Game Pass, but you put a Call of Duty box out there. They're not able to keep up with production right now. So nothing's really hurting. Like, we bring it up all the time. Microsoft doesn't have any AAA first-party games right now, right? But it's not hurting anything because it's so early in the generation, and people are having a hard time getting their hands on the ones they want to get. So, as the production increases on the consoles, then they start to kind of twist it in a little bit. And you'll see some changes. But if they squash Sony, they won't be able to acquire anything else that's third party. That's a big, huge IP, because this will be thrown up, and it might hold some weight next time.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to say, and this ties into the previous subject, right? Like, this is a situation now where we've always known these have been advantages for Sony, right? But that's forever smashed. This is not a situation, in business, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, especially in the game industry. Usually you're not in the lead 2 consoles in a row. No one's ever done that except for Nintendo and Sony, and that's probably never going to happen for them ever again. Like, I don't think on the next, well, it might happen when Nintendo with the Switch. We'll soon see, right? But generally it doesn't happen, and it's really rare. It takes exceptional situations for it to happen, right? But the advantages that Sony had that they're losing now, they can never get back. This is not a tottering of fortunes or anything. This is something that you can never see Sony the same way again. We've always known this as the hardcore, right? And I said this multiple times, right? And we've known these things about Sony, but now it's written in stone, and and no one can deny them, right? They're just out there flat, said by Sony themselves, right? But now the perception is forever changed. You can never see them in the same way that was to their advantage ever again. Certain things are forever changed and will never be to their benefit ever again. So, and that's been in the undercurrent all along about a lot of things that's been happening this generation, right? Even before this generation began, the year before, a lot of it was a weekly thing. It was a weekly thing. Sony is looking weak in a way they can never recover from, because it's to their image, it's to everything about them is out there now and can never be fronted on.
Yeah. Here's an old one by exclusivity, if you can see it. Modern Warfare Special Operations Survival Mode is PS4 exclusive for a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did that ever come to Xbox?
I don't know. It's just a screenshot somebody put on Twitter just now.
It did, but I think it took 2 years. It was something extra happening. In fact, I think somebody in the comments said it.
Look, our friend Afterboss. Let me blow this up.
That obvious because he's talking about Destiny, but that's the Destiny thing we were talking about as well earlier. He's talking about that right there.
I also remember Sony locked down Destiny 1 content, weapons, maps for a year on PlayStation 4 because Bungie was with Activision at the time. And he's talking about, I guess, these skins and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh crap! Everything blew up on my screen. I gotta zoom out. Oh no! Dang it! All right. So, man, Chatterbox has been lit up today, man. We got Jay, Radiance,
yeah, man.
Poe. I'm gonna skip his first part of his name. I'm just gonna call him Poe. Vodka. Who else is in here?
100 was there.
100 was here. E-Rock was here.
E-Rock X.
Yep. KTG is here. Let's see what
Gaming, I think it was.
Yep. Poe says looking weak is not good.
Not good.
People don't want to buy an inferior product.
Facts. Big facts.
Out here looking wicked and wet toilet paper.
Yeah, man. You look like the company themselves look like the PlayStation division looks weak. And it's, like I said, they're always gonna have to hold that L. That's a permanent L. Always. It's almost like the scarlet letter. You gotta wear it when you walk around.
The big old A, man. Or the big L, sorry.
Bro, man, going back to Sony, man, it's almost like they forgot when they entered the industry and the way they bullied the industry, buying up time exclusivity. Because see, back in the day, Sony was the Apple, Microsoft of that time. They came through and just basically punked everybody. Sega couldn't get nothing off. Nintendo couldn't get anything off. It's like they forgot all about that, how they got to where they are now, and now they want to cry like they're the little guy on schoolyard.
It's not fair. That's what we can do it, but they can't. Is that how it goes?
That's exactly what they're saying, because they did it.
That's literally, yep.
The only thing is they didn't let their nuts hang and buy these studios, buy these publishers. They just rent exclusivity, right? Remember Grand Theft Auto never came around until later. You know what I'm saying? It's things like that. So, hey man, you made their bed. They made their bed. It's time to sleep in it.
Sleep in it. Yep. Big time.
Word.
KTG Gaming. Yeah, he's still here. Yeah, I did get it right. All right.
Yeah, KTJ. I can't read today. I'm terrible. I had a whole different year for the most played games, and
wow,
I can't read here. It's just,
is getting to you. It's the old man.
All this news about Sony has really got me sad, because you know how much of a soy boy I am. And me, who just got the PlayStation, I'm trying to enjoy it, but all this doom and gloom news about Sony looking weak, Sony's financials looking bad, because you know I got to follow the financials. I'm a financial guy, so I have to follow them, and I got to pretend I'm an expert when I talk about financials. And, you know, I got to say, well, Sony better do this or Sony better do that, because they're going to do it. Right, Eli? They're going to do that.
Yeah, right.
You know, I got to blow into my controller, and every time I blow into it, I'm like, man, how long is this going to last? You know, they're going to be around. So, you know, you guys really brought me down here with all these Sony negativity you guys brought on the show.
You bet on the wrong horse, Tech.
That's right. Got that right.
This,
You bet on the wrong horse, man. See, look, man.
And the guys on the chatter about it, like, well, hold on, what happened to Tech? Yeah, I thought it was an Xbox guy. They were like, why is he talking so much PlayStation? You know what? Xbox has so many things going great right now that I know it'd be great to talk about, but it's like how much more can we talk about greatness on that end? You know, it's
just give them a little variety, like Game Pass.
Yeah. And,
all right, then let's give them a variety. I have a subject that I want to talk about. I don't know if you had anything else planned that we could talk about real quick.
And the big one was this, and that was it. And everything else will be bonuses. So if you had something else you want to throw in there,
yeah, I think that carried us for like 45 minutes anyway.
It did. That's good. Yeah.
You want to cut it right here then?
Oh, do you have something in mind?
Yeah, it was something we was talking about in the DMs earlier. That Logitech handheld thing, especially now that they're working with Tencent. Now forget about the whole Tencent thing, but you know, I'm not too big with Tencent. I'm not too positive, you know, with the whole influence in China. That's just not good in general. But that aside, I'm still very excited about this news. If you remember at CES, we saw this handheld before, right? So, if you see reviews of the Red Magic 7S Pro or whatever, that's got like the newest, most powerful Android chip out there, right? And
there's
it's like,
no picture yet. Was there? Huh? I'm trying to look for
not
something.
the Logitech.
Okay.
The Logitech one they had, you know, from CES, you can show up that one. You can show that because that's like the prototype of what's going on now. But yeah. So if you take that phone isn't that expensive. It's like $700 for something that has, you know, like the most powerful hardware in Android right now. That's pretty cheap, you know, 120 hertz screen, all that gamer stuff, right? You take one of those phones, you slap in a controller. In fact, ETA Prime did a great video. Taki Unan did a much better video where he took one of those backbone controllers and he put in one of those, right? Actually, it wasn't the backbone controller, it was the Razer Kishi, like the newer version, right? He slapped it in there and it was like, you know, it's basically what this Logitech device will be. But that device will be shaped more like a Switch or whatnot, where it's all in one. It's not a phone that you slapped into a controller. You know, it will be purpose built for this, right? And they had a device at CES that they showed up. I think it was CES or even earlier than that.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. I couldn't find anything.
I think it was at CES. But it would be like the latest Snapdragon chip, right? So even more recent than what's in this phone I was just talking about, right?
Oh, so it's an actual device.
Yeah, so it's a whole device. It's not a phone.
Kind of like the Steam Deck.
Right, like the Steam Deck, but it's an
not quite.
Snapdragon. Okay. It's like the Steam Deck S in terms of shape and form factor.
It's like a phone. It's like a phone with a built-on controller.
Right, where it's built in already. That's why I'm talking about. Like you can get a phone and you can grab a controller and you get something that's 99% the same thing, but it's kind of like a different angle than just all the Steam Deck competitors we have now.
Yeah,
I know from GPD Win and Neo and whatnot, right? So, and in fact, in the comments of the Verge, I pasted that in the DMs, right? Now, somebody was asking because there's a lot of videos now. If you search for Windows 11 ARM, right, there'll be a lot of videos of people putting Windows 11 on this particular model phone, where the bootloader was unlocked, and it works pretty well considering all things considering, right? Plus, this phone is kind of old. It's like 4 years old chip already, right? And it's running Windows 11 and it could even run, Steam in a couple of games. So imagine you had a modern version of this hardware where it was purpose built for Windows, Windows 11 ARM version, right? That would be a big deal. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with this, if this is going to be Android or Windows or some other operating system we've never heard of or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is a big deal because Logitech is getting into this space too. So there's the Steam Deck. There's all these handhelds that are coming out. This Switch has competition in many ways.
Logitech will take care of the handheld part, right? Because they're more about the peripheral.
Right. So, but this device is expected to run, game, xCloud and stuff like.
Yeah.
Out the box. It's not going to be in the Steam Deck where you have do some command line stuff because they don't have like a dedicated app to launching the Steam Deck like they do on phones and stuff.
Right.
So this is going to have that. They're talking about that already. This is This is particularly made, support cloud. So it may not even be a powerful device. It might be a weak device. Who knows? Because if they're just doing cloud streaming, it doesn't have to be very powerful to do that, but
a lot of processing is happening in the background.
Right, but they keep advertising, like the latest generation of Snapdragon, so that would seem not to be that, to be a high-end device instead. So this could be like that device NVIDIA had way back when, the NVIDIA Shield, the original handheld one. Another clamshell style device.
Yeah, I remember the Shield.
But from Logitech. That would be pretty cool.
You know what I thought about SIK? I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Linux-based Android device, because it runs, it's going to have NVIDIA Cloud, basically every cloud service known to gaming right now.
Right, but all that stuff isn't on Windows, but it is on Android.
It's on Android. So my thing is, my issue is like, this is what Legal loves to talk about. He's been waiting on this. He's been talking about this.
Yeah.
But my issue is the cost, right?
Right.
Because if it has a 5G radio, you're going to have to pay for a plan. So not only do I have to buy the device, and if that device has the same Snapdragon in it as a phone, mini OLED screen, you're looking at like a $700 device, right?
Yep.
So are they gonna subsidize the plan somehow? Because Microsoft does have a deal with Verizon, right?
And
so maybe it's all coming around, full circle, and we get to see the picture come, because they do have a deal where they're selling their consoles through Verizon. So maybe Verizon has a way where they sell the device, and they would also be able to give you the 5G to actually play on that game.
Exactly. And Tencent is the same thing in China. Like, they own like telecommunications and stuff like that. So that's the same situation over there, where they could subsidize on that side, right? So it could be a two-pronged approach. If they get the gamers in China and in America, and worldwide or whatever, it's a much easier way to be able to profit off a device when you have a partner like that.
Yeah, but I still don't think cloud is ready yet. So for me, I'm gonna stick with the native until cloud comes around.
Right, and thankfully this device has that as well. It's not just low power, because they keep talking about the latest generation of Snapdragon supposed to be on this device. So yeah.
I mean, at its base, it could be an emulation device for old games. But like, to me, cloud isn't ready. I mean, and if I'm going to be using it around the city, I'll just wait till I go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if you're not close to where the reception is great, your gaming experience is going to be trash.
Yeah, no matter if it's 5G or what. They talk about how fast 5G is, but it's not everywhere. And if you're not in the spot we can get, all of a sudden it drops out. You're great for a moment until you walk around a corner where it's not there, and you're asked out.
Yeah. Yep.
So like I said, my biggest issue is just going to be the cost. I mean, how much would you guys be willing to pay for a monthly service fee on your handheld device?
I don't know about all of that, because when I think about it being 5G, like, it'll have the radio, but it'll have the SIM card slot. But let me deal with that on my own if I buy it outright. Well, I'm doing it with a phone carrier. I don't know, man.
Yeah, they'll have to be careful about having that radio, because I remember when the Vita came out and had the 3G radio in it, but it was locked to AT&T. You couldn't just pop in anything in there. And there was a section of people that booted. They didn't like it.
Right, but it did give you free internet.
No, you had to pay.
No, I had a 3DS and it had free internet because I didn't pay any.
He said the Sony though.
The Sony Vita.
Oh, the Vita. Oh, yeah. You had to pick that. That was a whole situation there.
They had a Vita, and dude, that Vita was awesome when I got it at launch. It was an amazing piece of hardware.
Yeah, I still have the original launch model style with the OLED screen. Beautiful.
And
the Vita is awesome on my Steam Deck.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and it scales perfectly. The resolution is just right.
But like I said, the one thing that sucked about that is that it was locked on to AT&T, so they had to go to AT&T, and AT&T had their own plan for the Vita, so they were already looking ahead at that time.
Right.
So they say, if you want 3G at the time, then we have a plan for just the Vita. It was like wasn't that much. but we all saw what happened to the Vita. So
yeah, 30 because it's like 5G now, even on the prepaid plans. Like I have Verizon and I have T-Mobile is my main phone, but my Verizon one I use it intermittently, so I'm on prepaid, right?
Yeah.
Like I already paid for the phone and whatnot. And certain months I pay for it, and then I'll go a month off because I really don't need it that often, right?
Yeah.
So to get unlimited data, it's $50, but if you pay with your card or something consistently, whatever, they take off like $10 a month, so it's like 40, right? And I could use that, and then I'll use the Wi-Fi, to what do you call it? A mobile hotspot, right? And that's most of the reason I use that phone if I even pay for it that month, right? It's to do something like that. I can imagine a lot of other people do that with their phones, but
so it's your burner phone.
It's a burner phone, but it's my first number. I like to keep that number active.
Okay.
Right. That's my first number I have.
It's for those ladies, huh?
So
it's all for those ladies.
Yeah, he got the track phone.
I got two phones anyway. I'm like
one for the plug, one for the old.
That's right.
One for the parents and one for the ladies, right? It's like, I gotta change my number.
Man,
that's what you that's why I'm keeping up all the time. But
to answer the question I laid down, right?
But the point I'm making is
I would pay $20 a month for internet for a mobile device.
30,
How much?
I would pay $30.
$20 a month.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I would pay 30, but I don't think we need to do either because we have
I would say
cell
10.
phone, just do mobile hotspot. Is my point.
Well, but see, that's the thing, right? If you're tethering, it's not as good as if you're using your phone, right? You want that to be direct.
It's already crappy as it is when it comes to that because there's already a hop. Trust
the
me.
way I see it,
You know
maybe
what? Just put an RJ jack in there. Just put it.
Right.
Well, no, the way I see this working out, man, is they probably have some type of subsidy going on with it, where you buy it from either AT&T or Verizon, and you sign the contract, and by the time the contract's done, the device is paid off. Because we're looking at phone specs, we're looking at premium phone specs in that thing,
Right?
In this device. So, it's all about low barrier to entry and this and that. And these phone companies they do credit checks, but it's not the same as like if you were trying to get something else. Go ahead.
I'm more interested in just buying it outright. So if it's say $399, that's cool, right? But I don't see it being that. Especially like I was talking about with these other phones. Like you can get a Red Magic right now, for like $800, and that's pretty cheap for the specs it has, right? Like that's cheap because it could be because if it was like a bigger brand name like a Samsung, that's $1,000 easily. The next Samsung that's gonna have this chip, because Samsung that have this chip now are $1,000. The S20 22 Ultras and whatnot is a chip they rock, and those phones are $1,000, right?
Yeah, but you remember the phone was $1,000, and then once they put 5G on it, it became $1,500.
Right. So now it's like, but the Red Magic is 5G as well, so that's finally starting to drop down. But Samsung, they charge even more. See, Logitech can't do that, but and this is where subsidies come in. To buy one outright, man, I feel like it's gonna be $699. But I don't want to pay $699. I'd rather pay $399 is the most I would pay for that, I feel. It depends on what they offer, though. Yeah. Depends on what it offers and what the capabilities are. If it does something more than just a phone inside of a controller, then nah, it's not necessary. I'd rather just get the Red Magic thing. Because at least I can use it as a phone and other things at the same time.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just buy Kishi and call it a day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that one right there.
Yeah, I got the first one. I like the newer model. It's not that much different, but I could use the newer one.
Oh, there's a new one?
Out the old one. Yeah, there's a newer one.
Yeah, the new one is nice, man, but it won't fit my phone.
What's the difference with the new one?
It's like a controller. Like,
oh,
look, they actually talked to me on Twitter. So, like, I said, hey, man, what can y'all do for tablets? Because I'm gonna be honest, man, if I'm gonna do it like that, if I'm gonna stream, I'd rather put it on my tablet. My tablet has 5G.
Yeah,
I'd rather have those controllers on the side of my tablet, so I don't have to strain my eyes.
No, and you're right, because
or what?
Because when xCloud first came out, I tried it, and it was on my phone, which was great. I wasn't experiencing anything bad or any lag or anything at the time, even though it was new.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, you're like, even though my phone's an Ultra, because I have the S21 Ultra, it's still small, you know, for what you're trying to do. But now that I got my S8 plus whatever tablet, dude, it's perfect because it's like a whole, 12-inch screen.
Well, that's why when they promote that new controller for tablets, they want you to have the tablet like sitting on a table.
Yeah.
But I mean, that means you still have to crouch down, slouch over to look at it. I'd rather have a controller that connects to my tablet and I can play it that way.
This is what. Let me go get it. I'll be back. Hold on. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna show you something.
Oh, this guy here. I don't know, man. That was the last subject I just want to talk about real quick, actually. But yeah, man. These handhelds are a whole new market. Nintendo fans keep acting like they not shook, even though they really don't have to be. It's really a separate thing. But they can never stop talking about it. Anytime anybody's talking about, the Steam Deck and emulating Nintendo games, all of a sudden, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of competition now.
Yeah, the Switch showed everybody that people want to play games. Well, really, people on cell phones showed everybody that.
Yeah, yes. That's the real
And so when the Switch comes through and it has the success that
all right.
And has a success that it did. Now everybody wants a handheld. Go ahead.
Yeah. You're not on camera yet, but we hear you. Oh, we did. Hello.
All right. I got this thing that maybe you need, Eli. Let me lower my volume. You guys are too loud.
Put the camera on because we don't.
And I will.
All right.
So. This is perfect. You just need a tablet size for it. This is for the phone. You just kind of sit back and chill. And it's this thing.
Oh my God!
Look at that. No hands, dog.
Oh, wow. Hands.
Perfect.
Wow, I saw they had one for somebody when they're in the shower. I was like, oh my God, stop. Why are you on your phone in the shower?
Look at that. One of these.
Bro, I bought one of those and it's just sitting around, man. I don't. Nah, my wife laughed at me.
My wife got me this.
Man, at least a beer hat is better. You put 4 beers, you got the hoses, you get drunk real quick. At least that serves a purpose. What the fuck?
Yeah, this I think you put it long ways, and there you go. Look at that.
Wow.
There's my phone. I'd be like, choo 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 choo. Playing XCloud.
Guess what? You got the juice now.
So, see, I could be.
Yeah, he does have the juice, man.
I can look at my phone.
He can be talking and playing the game right around your neck.
Man, let me take this off. Dang it, now it's all tangled up.
It has headphones and everything. Wow. Oh, no, it doesn't.
There, man. See, I solved your problem when it comes to the tablet.
Wow. Oh,
you don't need to slouch down. You just get that that thing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like I said, I got one of those things from I want to say like Ross or something like that. Goes around and they really like on the pictures. It's for like if you want to watch it while you're in bed or something.
Picture, it looks fantastic, man. The lady's like all relaxed. She's watching her little phone. She's in her like bed with 10 pillows around her, really relaxed. To think all this just looks nice and smooth. Look at mine's all jacked up.
Wow.
On the advertisement, it's like really nice and curvy. Well, this one's all bent out of shape. Oh yeah, that thing is awesome. So.
Bro, I think there's the same one I have, but mine's is black.
You actually bought one of those, man? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was like $5. Why not? I'll give it a try.
Why not? I'd rather spend another cheeseburger than get that shit. What the hell?
A cheeseburger. Oh my god. All right.
Leave it to sick to make me feel bad about my little impulse purchase.
Yes, I will. That's corny. Next time I do something corny like that, I'll let you have at me.
You won't say it. You won't tell that you did it.
I will, man. I'm not like that, man. I will, and I'll let you have it. I'm telling you. Trust me. You're not the only one who buys dumb shit for no good goddamn reason. Look, I'll put it like this. I had the little chat adapter controller thing that goes on the bottom of your Xbox controller. You know, the little keyboard thing, right?
Yeah.
I had it in the 360 era. I got it in the Xbox One era. I'm holding it right now.
Yeah.
I've never once used it.
No?
I used the one time I took it out the box to try. I'm like, oh, it works. And then I had it on my controller for like a week, and then I take it off with my headphones.
I don't think I ever used it during the Xbox One, but I did use it a lot in the 360 era.
Yeah. I used to use the 360 one a lot, but the reason I bought it, I was hoping it would also work on the PC when it was on the controller, so I wouldn't have to have a keyboard in my lap. But I never got around to trying it, so at least that thing was $5. This was a lot more than that, and I've never used it.
Yeah. That's too funny. All right, man, let's call it a night. Great subjects. It was awesome talking to you guys. It's always great to have you guys on here. The Chatterbox. Thank you for participating. Makes it more fun that way, and it bounces conversations with us as well. So it's always a good thing when you guys interact with us here. Anything you guys got to say? Where they can find you? All that good stuff.
Well, you can find me SIKSLAYER on Twitter and everywhere else. You'll find me SIKSLAYER. Yeah, that's it.
And if you want to know more about Steam Deck, dude, that's the guy to go to because he has one. Well, so does Realist, but he doesn't use it that much, do you?
Hey man, I just let y'all sleep on me, man. I'm like Phil Spencer. I'm gaming wherever gaming exists.
Yep.
That's right.
Like I'm just playing, bro. I play these games. You won't see me talking about how I'm waiting on the next AAA exclusive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Put my crap up there.
So
Yeah,
next show is going to be dedicated all to Returnal. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Nah, man.
No.
Well, I mean, I don't think so, bro. Like, you really like it that much?
No. I like
See,
it.
you feel about that game the way I feel about Ratchet and Clank. I just wanted something on that console because there was nothing like outside of those games I got for free. I was like, let me try an actual PS5 game. And Ratchet was the only thing there was. There was no way I was gonna buy a 13-year-old remake for $70. So I bought a platformer for $70, and I regretted
you had to
it.
Validate your console purchase somehow.
Yeah, and that's the way he is with Returnal. And Returnal is every bit of a $39.99 game, just like Ratchet.
Hey, I got it for like $14-20.
Yeah, but that's not what they sold it to you for.
No.
They wanted 70, and you found ways to get the price down.
Yes, I did.
Proud of you.
No, they had for $50 at GameStop. That's where I bought it, brand new.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I saw it for $40 at Best Buy on the internet.
Dang it.
Yep, should have been $29.99 though.
That's okay. I had to renew my thing anyways. So.
Oh man, you won, man. I'm gonna let you feel like you won. I ain't gonna say that. Bro, because I remember those dudes bragging about the graphics on that game, and I'm like, yo, I mean, it's not a bad looking game, but
yeah,
this should be on PS4.
You know, all those little memes and pictures on Twitter that they came out when Returnal came out, and they showed her face looking all jacked up and like pixelated. It is like that. It is no joke. That's what the game looks like.
Yeah, her hair looks bad. Look, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I bought Vampire Swan Song on sale, right? Bro, that is one of the worst built games, and it's really just like a almost damn near point and click game. And like the hair jumps, like the beard appears right out of nowhere, like his hair just grows, like that. Like that game, man. And they were charging $60 for that game. That game should never have been released, and I hate what they've done with one of my all-time favorite franchises, Vampire the Masquerade.
Sorry.
I mean, because Bloodlines, Troika released a masterpiece and nobody cared, and they went out of business, and then now everybody's got something going on with the IP. But all right, man, yeah, you can find me on anything that matters, The Realist, Xbox, Twitter. Don't look for me on PlayStation. I have one friend, and that's all I need.
All right, Chatterbox. Everybody, good night, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Peace.